Hello there, and welcome once again to the Set of the Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers. We're here every week, meeting interesting people and dealing with topical issues. And today we're going to talk about a program that has helped meet the needs of teachers who aren't feeling like they're getting the funding from the state that they need.
Yes, and you brought this to my attention, and we were able to put this show together because the concept used here shows the real ingenuity of a good-hearted person who isn't simply good-hearted but is willing to do the work to make something good be accomplished. Brenda Lene will be on here when we get past our first commercial break to talk to us about her education program that she's involved in as a volunteer that she created to make life better for teachers and students in Oklahoma.
It's a pretty amazing story.
It
Brenda
really
Lene is our guest today on The Verdict. We'll be right back.
When the war broke out, I thought about joining the services, but at the time I was too young. When I became 17, well, I managed to talk my mother into signing the papers so I could go. I'm Nathaniel Thomas. I served in World War II, and I'm Chickasaw Indian. When the war was over, it was about 3 o'clock of the morning that we were sailing to San Francisco. And somebody hollered at us that I think I see the lights of home. So every one of us got out of our bunks. We gathered by the rail, and we watched that light glowing. We were there when the sun came up. It was beautiful. I can't explain it. It was good to be back home. After I look back now on my life, so forth, I can see God all along the journey.
See more stories about the Chickasaw people at profilesofanation.com.
Welcome back to the Set of the Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, and Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
We're very pleased to welcome to the Set of the Verdict today Brenda Lene, a court reporter here in Oklahoma County. Pardon me. Brenda, however, is not here because she's a court reporter. She's here because she has started and is involved in administering a volunteer program to help children and teachers in the schools of Oklahoma, not simply Oklahoma County or Edmond, but statewide. She did her undergraduate work at Oklahoma State University. She has been a court reporter for a number of years now. She owns and operates Lene Reporting Services. She was the recipient of the People's Choice Award awarded by the Oklahoma Institute for Child Advocacy, which is an organization devoted to trying to help children in need in various ways. She has been involved in starting this organization for raising funds for teachers and classrooms throughout the state of Oklahoma, and we want to hear more about that from her. Brenda, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, let's start further back. So you're growing up in Fort Gibson.
Yes.
And you're obviously inspired by educators. Any idea where that inspiration came from? Why is education so important to you?
Well, I think it's just fundamental in any society to have a growing, thriving society and citizenship. My grandmother was a teacher, and both of my sisters work in schools right now, and so it's just something that I think is really important.
So
you have children?
I do. I have two sons.
You're living in Edmond?
In Edmond, yes.
Oklahoma City firefighter husband?
Yes, he's an Oklahoma City firefighter.
And 2-3 years ago, you start to see the budget cutbacks. You start to hear stories about teachers not having the supplies that they need, and most of us probably say, "God, I wish there was something I could do." And you said, there is something I can do.
Right,
So,
right.
So talk about that moment that the idea came. What was that aha moment like?
Well, it kind of built up because it was the end of the school year about 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in March that I started the group, and it's about when we first started seeing the news stories of the budget failures every month back then. And there were reports of schools having to close early because there wasn't the money that they anticipated, and schools running out of essentials like copy paper, things that they needed to run the school. And we live in Edmond, and we live in a school district where parents are able to donate to fundraisers, volunteer hours at the school to help bridge that gap that started occurring. But in lower income schools, that's not able to happen. And I didn't feel like my kids deserved any better of an education than any other child just because of where we live. And I just really, the only thing I could think of to reach a large group of people quickly was social media. And so I started the Facebook group, really just hoping I could get a couple of teachers some help, and no idea that it was going to turn into what it actually did.
Okay, and so you went on Facebook, you created your own page.
Right.
Yeah, and what'd you call it? And
It's called Oklahoma Education Needs / Donations, and it's for any teacher in Oklahoma to go on and ask for the things that they need in their classroom that they would otherwise have to pay out of pocket for.
Yeah.
And then for people who want to help our public educators and help our public school students who have never known how, can join and find a teacher to help. And we've actually had people from all over the country donate to Oklahoma teachers in our group. So it's been really nice.
do you remember the first time it worked? Do you remember the first person that said, "Look, I'll help"?
Besides yourself.
Yeah.
I think it was, I remember one of the first bigger donations, somebody had an attic full of books, children's books. And they said, you know, I've had these sitting in my attic for so long, I've not known what to do with them. Now I know. And they offered boxes of books to whatever teacher would want them. And there was kind of a moment that really was surprising. At first it was people just delivering things to their local schools. And one day someone said, okay, I've ordered all of this stuff on Amazon and I'm sending it straight to your school. And everyone that was in the group so far just thought, that's genius. Nobody has to leave their house. So that's 99% of it now is a teacher posts what they need and someone orders it online, Amazon, Office Depot, Walmart, what have you, and has it shipped directly to the school. No one even has to leave their house. So it's really convenient and a really great way to work.
Do you have any sense of how many folks have participated as donors through your website?
I honestly don't. I have regretted that I didn't have the foresight to track any of this. I really had no idea it was going to take off the way it did, and it has been impossible to track any of it, partly because no money is exchanged. It's just school supplies that are exchanged.
Yeah, so the donations does not mean money funneling through you.
Exactly.
For other purposes.
Exactly. Okay. We don't allow teachers to ask for cash. They can ask for exactly what they need. And that way we don't have to worry about any
So it could be books
scammers.
or paper or anything more unusual than that has been?
Well, there has been special education classrooms a lot of times need different things. They have kids with special diets. They may need a refrigerator. One teacher was asking for a couch to help her children that were in wheelchairs have somewhere else to sit during the day other than just be stuck in their wheelchair all day. And she got a couch donated. So it's anything the teacher needs to run their classroom that they would otherwise have to pay out of pocket for. And it's as simple as pencils and paper to whatever else they may think of that they need.
How many people have been involved in this? How many people are on the Facebook
There's
page?
29,000 members in the group right now.
And there was one when you started?
Well, there was one when I started, me. A couple of months into it, local, I think we had a couple of hundred members, and I was interviewed on a local news channel. And so after that exposure, we had a big spike in membership after that, and it really just kind of started increasing exponentially after that. And then I was interviewed again towards the end of last year, I think, and again, that exposure, we had another spike. But the membership's been pretty stagnant for about the last 6 months, so I'm really hoping that this encourages more people to join in and help.
Is there a part of the state that seems to have more needs than another?
No. The need is widespread and the need is deep. Yeah, it's all over. And the great thing about technology now and being able to order online, and so many places provide free shipping, that a donor can go on and donate to any teacher in Oklahoma. They don't have to be restricted to somebody local. I mean, there are so many donors who don't even have kids in public education. And so they're not tied to a certain school in any way. They just want to help. They believe education is valuable. And so they'll donate to any teacher in Oklahoma that they can see a need that they can fill. So it's really amazing.
Do donors make just kind of general, unrestricted gifts, saying, I just would like to donate, for instance, $500 to your program, and have somebody go buy the stuff and get it delivered? What happens if you get a request like that?
Well, there have been times that people I know, neighbors, friends, or family members have said, I don't really have time to look through the group and find what fits for me. I'm just going to bring you these supplies and you can distribute them, or things like that.
Yeah.
And so I have done that. I've spent a lot of hours on the road taking school
Well, you don't
supplies
encourage
to
that,
people.
I take it.
I really don't. I don't want there to be any sense of impropriety. I want the donor to send the stuff straight to the teacher so that everybody knows it's on the up and up. There's no possibility for, anything like that. So.
Well, in the minute we have left in this segment, how much is your salary for doing all this?
Negative. Because I don't get any money for doing it, and I love to donate to the teachers too. So yeah, nobody gets paid for doing this.
All right, let's take a break. Brenda Lene is our guest. She lives in Edmond, but found a need in helping out Oklahoma educators and has impacted thousands and thousands of Oklahoma students. We'll have more with Brenda when we get back.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Welcome back to the Set of the Verdict. Brenda Lene is our guest. She started a Facebook page trying to get teachers connected with people who might want to buy school supplies for public schools, and it has mushroomed into quite an endeavor. 29,000 people now on the Facebook page, and I'm guessing there's been thousands of transactions there that have benefited kids.
I would say yes, several thousands of transactions. If I had known what this was going to turn into when I started it, I would have tried to track it better, but it took off so fast and there has been so much activity, it's really been impossible to track. But I mean, thousands of teachers have been helped. I couldn't even begin to estimate how many, not actual dollars, but how many, probably tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of school supplies have been put into Oklahoma classrooms.
Yeah, really two thoughts here. One is that the need is real, that's obvious.
Yes.
But second is people want to help.
They do,
Yeah.
they do. There are people in the group who don't even have kids in public education, but they value education and they know that our teachers are important and they want to help. And so since they don't have kids in school, they've never really had a direct link to know how to help. And so this gives them an opportunity to get involved. And so it's, the demographic of the people in our group is widespread. It's from all over Oklahoma, and it's just teachers and those people who want to support our teachers.
Well, you probably hear from teachers who have received support from time to time, either on Facebook page or otherwise.
Yes.
What do you hear?
Well, of course they're relieved because they're spending thousands of dollars of their own money to run their classrooms now. And so that relief financially for them, it really helps them. But almost more than that, teachers say that their morale has been boosted so much because they can feel pretty defeated these days.
Yeah.
And knowing that there are people out there who value them and who care about public education and want to help, it has really boosted their morale a lot. So that's been wonderful.
I would think there's a lot of comments on your Facebook page with other ideas. Like, now that you've done this, why don't you?
Yeah, and I have thought about forming a nonprofit organization, but this is a side job for me, my non-paying job, and so I would love to be able to do this full time and expand it, but you know, my real job is a court reporter, got to pay the bills, so I haven't been able to expand it past this, but the thought of forming a nonprofit organization and building it a little bit more is always in the back of my mind.
Well, if it's operating well now without overhead, maybe that's a good model to use.
Right.
You say it was a couple of years ago that you put this into action?
2 years ago in March.
There are, I guess, thousands of people in Oklahoma that have good ideas, but few of them act on it and bring it to fruition. What was it that pushed you over the edge to say, I know this could work, and by golly, I'm going to do it?
Really just the thought that there are kids out there who aren't getting the education they need. To me, those kids in those lower income school districts need more support.
And we're not talking about your kids
Not
that
my
pushed
kids.
you into this.
No, no. It was the thought that there are kids out there. To me, the kids in the lower income school districts need more support, not less. And the way things were going, they were getting less because, like I say, in the higher income school districts, the parents are able to donate to the school fundraisers and things like that and volunteer actual hours at the school. And in lower income school districts, they don't have that. And so there's a big gap between what my kids were getting in their school and the tools they had and the kids in lower income school districts were having. And I just didn't feel that that was right. I want every child in Oklahoma to have an equal opportunity for a good education.
Tell us about the award that you received.
Well, one of my wonderful friends nominated me for an award given by the Oklahoma Institute of Child Advocacy called the Ann Roberts People's Choice Award. And it's an online voting award where the nominees are put online and people can go vote for who they want to win. And we were actually in Florida on vacation. I was so disappointed that when they did it was given out at the Oklahoma Institute for Child Advocacy, their fundraising ball that they have every year, and I wasn't able to be there because we had already scheduled a vacation, so they just texted me, "You won!" and we were in the hotel room screaming and yelling, and so it was really awesome. It was sad that I couldn't be there, but it was really nice to feel that validation and know that people are supporting what we're doing.
Well, that group has had a representative on our show 2 or 3 times, and I've actually served on that board in years past, don't anymore. But that's a wonderful organization to help kids, and for them to single you out is quite an honor.
Yes, it was. I felt very honored, and I was able to go to their offices, and after we got back from vacation, and Joe Dorman took the time to go ahead and come out and give me the award and take pictures with us, so that was really nice of him.
Well, you obviously see the need. You obviously care about education a great deal, and you look at state government. What needs to happen? What are you ultimately hoping that becomes of all this?
Yeah, if you were governor, what would you do?
Oh, are we going to go there?
We've already won one election.
I didn't know if we were going to go there or not. Well, this was never intended to last for 2 years. To me, this was going to be a Band-Aid that would get teachers through until things were fixed. I didn't know that things weren't going to be fixed by now, and indeed were going to get worse. If you want to know my opinion, I think that we need to find new, recurring, stable revenue, and we need to fund education along with our core social services to help Oklahomans who are the most vulnerable and the most in need. That's what I think. But like I say, this was, I wish the group wasn't needed. I never intended for it to be this long. And this is a Band-Aid on a gaping, gaping wound. I mean, there's no way this can make up for what teachers really need. But I'm glad that we can help at least a little bit.
Can you tell from monitoring your website whether a donor gives once and you never hear from them again, or donors are continuing to give
Right.
over and over again?
I'm actually glad you asked that. We do have kind of what I call my core set of donors who have been there for a very long time, and they donate over and over and over again. And one reason why it's important for us to keep getting new members in the group is because eventually those people get maxed out. They only have so much money, and then there's something called donor fatigue, where you help so long and you finally think, oh my gosh, you know, how long can we keep doing this? And so those people are wonderful, but they can't help every teacher on their own. So it's important that we get new members, new people who are willing to help. And then we do have other people who kind of pop in and they donate here and donate there, and maybe aren't as active as those core people. But I've had people tell me that they budget this out of their paycheck. They'll take $20 out of each paycheck to help a teacher in our group. And to me, it's just so wonderful to hear people say that. So we do have kind of a core group that's always there and has always been there. But then we just have people kind of pop in and out, and they'll donate once, and yeah, so it just depends.
Lots of types of education. You mentioned public education. Does this include charter schools? Does it include private schools? Have you had to draw any lines?
Yes, we do not do private schools. Charter schools, we haven't really laid down a rule yet. I know that we've let some charter schools post. I think it kind of depends on where their funding comes from. We want to help the schools who have to rely on government for funding, because they don't have any control over that. And they take what they're given and that's it. And so, yeah, we restrict it to public school teachers.
Well, what's next for Brenda Lene in the new idea category?
Right now, like I say, we've had some donor fatigue and membership has been kind of stagnant lately. And every now and then I'll do contests or programs. I've done an adoption program a couple of times where I'll have people volunteer to adopt a teacher for 3 months. I'll put a time limit on it and say, if you're willing to adopt a teacher for 3 months and provide them at least $20 to $25 of school supplies a month from their wish list, contact me and I'll match you with somebody. And each time I've done it, I've gotten over 100 teachers adopted for 3 months.
Wow.
And so that's 100 teachers, 3 months, at least $25 a month worth of school supplies. And I've done that twice. It's really time consuming to do, because then I have to go and find the teachers, and I pick the teachers randomly, and it's kind of a long process. But that's always one thing that kind of gets activity going again, and I'm going to try to do that again at the end of the month to kind of get teachers over that end of the year hump.
Okay, I'm going to give the name of the Facebook page now, and then I'll give it again when we
Okay.
get back. And you said you might be running into a little bit of donor fatigue. We'll see if we can take care of that.
That would be awesome.
It's Oklahoma Education Needs and Donations. Those of you who are on Facebook know how it works. But Brenda Lene is an inspiring person who shows the true generosity of Oklahomans, and we are indebted to you, and thank you very much for what you're
thank you.
doing for the
Thank
community.
you. Thank you for having me.
Kent and I'll have a final word when we get back.
There are now 11 million of us who live here and work here. I was 15 when I came here 6 years ago. I raised my family here. I drive my truck to my job every day. The only difference between now and 6 years ago I do it legally. I wanted to. Because this is my home.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
You will always be Mom and Dad to me.
We are a very conservative family, and we believe in old-fashioned family values. We have a loving home there, and we love kids, and we have 5, 6 of our own. And but I had no idea we were going to go into adoption, but it's been very gratifying.
You will always be Mom and Dad to me.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Brenda Lene is an inspiring person, reaching out and creating a connection between people who are willing to help Oklahoma educators and teachers that are in need.
Yeah, it's amazing how someone with an idea can just kind of put a couple of folks together and kind of try to bring it about, and great things happen.
It works this way. If teachers have a need of school supplies, they put on the website, on the Facebook page, what they need. Donors then generally order them online and have them sent directly to the schools. So no money exchanges hands, no money flows through her organization. That Facebook page is Oklahoma Education Needs and Donations. That's Oklahoma Education Needs and Donations, and I'm sure she'd love to have some more donors along the way. I'm glad we could bring this idea to you. We have a website too. We'd love to see you go to our website and tell us about a guest you'd like to see on a future edition of The Verdict, or a subject matter you'd like to see us investigate. For Kent Myers, I'm Mick Cornett. We'll see you next week with another show of The Verdict.